The day my father's will was read was the coldest day of my life, and it had nothing to do with the weather. I sat in a stiff chair in a lawyer's office, the air thick with tension. Across from me sat my mother, her face a mask of cold triumph, and my older brother, Mark, looking smug. Ever since I chose a different path, one that my father secretly supported but my mother openly despised, I had become the family outcast. My father and I shared a love for art, a passion my mother dismissed as a worthless hobby. She wanted me to join the family business, just like Mark. When I refused, she cut me off, both emotionally and financially. My father, bless his soul, would sneak me money and always call to see if I was okay. He believed in my dream, even if he couldn't say it out loud. Now, with him gone, I felt completely alone. The lawyer, a kind-faced man named Mr. Henderson, cleared his throat. He started reading through the legal jargon, his voice a low monotone. I barely listened, knowing what was coming. My mother had made her intentions clear for years. You chose your path. You live with the consequences, she'd say. Don't expect a penny from this family. As Mr. Henderson reached the part about the distribution of assets, my mother leaned forward, a grim smile playing on her lips. The family home, the business, the stock portfolio, everything went to her and Mark. My name was nowhere. Then, Mr. Henderson paused and looked at me. He said my father had left me a personal letter and a small, sealed box. My mother scoffed audibly. A letter? How sentimental. Probably just a final lecture. Mark snickered beside her. Mr. Henderson ignored them and slid the thick envelope and a small, antique wooden box across the table to me. I took them with trembling hands. As I was about to open the letter, my mother couldn't hold back any longer. Don't bother, she sneered, her voice dripping with venom. Your father knew you were a disappointment. You'll never see a cent of his real money. You made your bed, now lie in it. The words hit me like a physical blow. Tears welled in my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. Not in front of her. I clutched the letter, my knuckles white. This was it. The final confirmation that I meant nothing. But then, something unexpected happened. Mr. Henderson cleared his throat again, this time more forcefully. Actually, Mrs. Davison, he said, looking directly at my mother. That is not entirely accurate. There is one more item. He reached into his briefcase and pulled out a small, sleek tablet. He placed it on the table and pressed a button. The screen flickered to life, and there was my father's face. He looked older, tired, but his eyes held the same familiar warmth. My breath caught in my throat. My mother and Mark froze, their smug expressions vanishing, replaced by confusion. What is this? My mother demanded. Robert is gone. This is cruel, Mr. Henderson simply said. Your husband insisted this be played. It is a legally binding part of his final testament. My father on the screen looked directly into the camera, as if he was looking right at me. Hello everyone, he began, his voice raspy but clear. If you're watching this, it means I'm no longer with you. He paused, taking a breath. There are some things I need to set straight, things I was too cowardly to say while I was alive. I've lived too long under the thumb of expectations, and I won't let my legacy do the same. His eyes shifted, as if looking at my mother. Helen, I loved you, but your ambition for our family became a cage. You valued success over happiness, and you tried to force our children into a mold you created. Especially our youngest. My heart hammered in my chest. He was talking about me. You were wrong about our child, he continued, his voice growing stronger. So wrong. He then looked back at the camera, a sad smile on his face. To my youngest, my brilliant artist. I am so sorry. I am sorry I wasn't strong enough to stand up for you against your mother's disapproval. I watched you struggle, and I only helped in secret. That was my greatest failure as a father, but I always believed in you. Your art, your passion. It was the brightest thing in my life. Tears were streaming down my face now, but they weren't tears of sadness. They were tears of validation, of a love I thought I had lost forever. And that's why, my father said, his gaze firm, I've been making some arrangements of my own. For years, I have been quietly setting up a separate trust. I've been diverting funds, investing on my own. Outside of the family business that you, Helen, control so tightly. My mother's face went pale. Mark looked like he'd seen a ghost. This trust, my father declared, is exclusively for my youngest child. It contains half of my personal fortune, a fortune you knew nothing about. It is more than enough to ensure they can pursue their dreams without financial worry for the rest of their life. He smiled, a genuine, happy smile. "I know you'll do great things. You already have. You had the courage to be yourself. A courage I never had." The video ended. The office was silent, except for my quiet sobs. My mother was speechless, her face a mixture of shock and fury. Mark just stared blankly at the dark screen. Mr. Henderson slid a new set of documents towards me. "This is the paperwork for the trust," he said softly. "Your father was a very smart man." I looked from the papers to the small wooden box he had given me earlier. I opened it. Inside, nestled on a bed of velvet, was not jewelry or some trinket, but a set of antique, professional-grade paintbrushes. The very same set I had admired in a shop window with him years ago. A set I thought was a forgotten memory. I looked at my mother. Her face was contorted in an ugly sneer. "He went behind my back," she whispered, her voice trembling with rage. "After all I did for this family." But her words had no power over me anymore. My father's love, his final, incredible gift, had created a shield around my heart. I stood up, clutching the documents and the box of brushes. I didn't say a word. I just looked at her, and then at Mark. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger or sadness. I felt pity. They had the money and the business, but they had lost something far more valuable. They had lost the capacity for unconditional love. I walked out of that office and didn't look back. The cold air outside didn't bother me anymore. I felt a warmth spreading through me. A warmth that had nothing to do with money. It was the warmth of being seen, of being loved for exactly who I was. My father's final act wasn't about the inheritance. It was about setting me free. Free from my mother's judgment, free from financial insecurity, and free to finally, fully, paint my own future, in the brightest colors imaginable. And as I walked down the street, I knew my first painting would be a portrait of my father. The man who gave me more than money, he gave me back my dream.